Welcome to the first edition of the College of Waddle Ales, hosting Ales Football 2011. This week we're going to be talking about more the draft in general, and specifically on the quarterback position, players coming back, who's got the best returning crop, and how's that going to impact the draft in an interesting quarterback draft year, and that there's not going to be many spread guys at the top. We're going to get a little bit more of the running quarterback, at least when we look at Denard Robinson, and we'll get all into that. First, let's move quickly on. Ales are coming off a couple of Tecmo Bowl losses, but this is our time of years, researching the draft, learning the players, the up-and-coming ones, and getting a sense of how you're going to use the value of your picks. Speaking only of the quarterback position, Roosters have Landry Jones coming back. He's the fourth-rated quarterback by our scoring system as far as returning quarterbacks and as far as quarterbacks in the country being prognosticated. What does that mean? It means he's not going to be taking a quarterback in the first or second round. He's going to have to look to build elsewhere unless he sees something in some of the lower guys. When we look at the phrase, here's a guy who's going to bank on Kinney. Quarterback Tulsa was ranked 7th overall for fantasy football quarterbacks. And after that, it's a little tricky because Terrell Pryor is currently ranked at 83, and he's going to be missing some games. When he comes back, it's going to be the heart of the Big Ten schedule, so you're not going to be getting those September points. That's going to mean the phrase is going to need to really look at drafting a quarterback fairly high. The quarterback position for the Rats is terrible. By winning the JCG Bowl, he'll have the option to draft first or second, and he'll be looking to take a quarterback. Russell Wilson, unclear if he's going to play next year. Austin Davis is you could do worse as a backup, but he's only 24th overall. And Zach Dessert, I suppose, is almost worth hanging on, but at 38, that's a borderline type of player. The Green, as always, returns something of a mess. Robert Griffin could lead this team. He is only ranked 18th coming into the season by the CFI insiders looking at the quarterback position. I haven't looked at the Baylor schedule. It's not really something I get into at this stage. But I'll say the injury risk is very real. He is a pro prospect. Certainly can improve on that 18. You do know he's got to play Texas and Oklahoma and at least a couple of good defenses in there. And then Aaron Murray, 23 overall, and Garrett Gilbert, the presumed Texas quarterback, but that's not certain. He comes in at the 72nd ranked quarterback. This is someone who's going to need to look for a quarterback. Might be looking to trade with a team like the Ales, who've got some backup. Or he might look to get some of the mid-range guys, and we could talk about that in a second. The big gamble in the draft is going to be Geno Smith, West Virginia quarterback. He's ranked quite high, number 9. Would certainly put him in the first round if we take a couple of quarterbacks, just a sophomore, or maybe he'll be a junior. I guess I've forgotten on that one. The run and shoot, can they get it, or the spread, can they get it working right away? Remains to be seen. We'll be keeping an eye over that all summer as we look for players from West Virginia to load our teams up with. But that might be someone who's available to the Green if he goes the draft route. Moving on, the Cowboys, who had a fine regular season last year, they returned Kellen Moore, ranked 12th overall. This has worked in the past for the Cowboys, which is to get a steady starter, focus your value more on the running back and wide receiver positions. The other two, Jacoby Harris, ranked 51, John Brantley, 84, I would probably put on the waiver wire and free up those spots. I don't see the Cowboys needing to do more than 12th. With that Kellen Moore coming back, and probably should look elsewhere in the first round. Now the Ales They return an impressive lineup of Dominique Davis, ranked second, Brandon Whedon, ranked 32nd, Jake Heaps, ranked 31, and Case Keenum, ranked number 1 quarterback in the upcoming fantasy season. With two quarterbacks like Case Keenum and Dominique Davis, certainly there's going to be some coaching issues and potential problems. Always are, and that's certainly a spot where the Ales may look to trade. Heaps and Whedon do have some value, not a lot of value, but with Oklahoma State losing, well, I guess if they lost Hunter, I can't remember. But they're keeping Blackman. This is a team that's going to still throw the ball. There'll be some spots where Whedon is an effective backup, and he may mature as a player with more throwing this year if Hunter is gone. I can't seem to recall. Let me check on that while I got it. And we might as well move on. So I don't think we've ever had a team return a 1-2 at the quarterback position. So that'd be interesting if that keeps that unit together and actually plays a season that way, or certainly trade considerations are another out. Now yeah, that's right. Hunter's moved on, so Whedon's upside to go grab those touchdowns like Luck, I think is legitimate. The question I think becomes is, are there some running backs that would make trading a top flight player to get a couple of running backs, and that's something we'll talk about a little bit more in the next episode. But for the meantime, let's move on. I think when we look at overall quarterback teams, the number 1 returning lineup is the Gauchos. And I say that because he's got Moniz as the number 3, and we know that you don't play him, or you pick your spots where you play him. A lot easier to coach. He's got Zach Collaros, who I expect to have a fine season, not get off to the slow start like he did last year. And Seth Doege, if he can hang on to that Texas Tech job, that's a fine September. I think from a coaching perspective, the Gauchos have an easier road to hoe with that quarterback unit, so I would certainly rank them number 1 heading into the season. The JUCO return, Jordan Wynn, that's it at quarterback. They'll certainly be looking to draft one, and they'll have the first or second pick in the draft. Jordan Wynn is always returning, ranked 54th. Certainly that's not going to cut it. He's in the Denard Robinson sweepstakes. The question presents itself is he has to get another runner, and that didn't work out so well last year with quarterback Navy and quarterback Georgia Tech. It's exciting. It's fun to watch Denard Robinson. You got the injury risk. He is young, but I don't see where else to go. So pencil him in as a very likely Mulrat or JUCO Express. I don't see him falling. Next, moving quickly, we've got the Shamrocks returning Andrew Luck, 5th overall, Kyle Padron, number 20, and Dane Chris, 21. Now, Chris is going to get some pressure from the backup Reese, so maybe not strong, 21. I think a Padron-Luck combo is quite easy to coach. I expect Luck to have a great season. Without Harbaugh, yeah, there could be some drop-off, but I mean, he seems like he's the real deal. I would put them as the third best returning lineup, and a very coachable lineup. He'll definitely want to look to pick up another quarterback outside of either these conferences, or just get another young guy to balance out the lineup as a look to replace Luck in a year's time. The Dink, they return Taylor Martinez, and they're going to be asking a lot from this guy if the Dink go in thinking that quarterback is covered. He is the 15th ranked quarterback for fantasy stats by our scoring only numbers. That's not bad. Is it good enough to think that you don't need a quarterback when your other guy is David Isabel, who's ranked, he's the lowest ranked player, I believe, still on a team, 551. I don't know if he'll make the opening day roster, let alone the pre-draft roster. The Dink is going to have to think very hard about how they value the draft, particularly as they have a good core, probably the best core wide receivers coming back next year. So if he can trust that Polk and Burkhead, with Halo moving on, are legitimate starters, then maybe he can put a little more value at the quarterback position and grab one in the first round, perhaps like that Geno Smith character. Take a gamble and see if that works out. You usually get a good September, if nothing else, from a West Virginia quarterback. Well, that's pretty much what I got on our first episode, and we'll crank one out soon enough. And take care till next time.